Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you may be watching. Welcome or listening. Welcome to the Sasageyo Podcast. My name is Tim.
And I'm Leah.
Yeah, so we're just kind of going through Attack on Titan. Currently, we're on episode 5, season 1.
Big episode.
First battle, Attack on Trost, part 1.
Attack on Trost.
Yeah, when we ended the last episode, we were in a different studio. For those of you watching on YouTube, welcome to the new setup. It's
Looks good,
pretty
right?
sweet.
We're lounging too.
Yeah, and some quality upgrades, not only visually but audioly. Audioly. if you can hear that difference. If not,
Crisp.
Check your ears.
Crisp.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's crisp. We actually didn't really hear it.
We haven't heard it yet because we're recording it.
We were told it sounds better. We have a nice backdrop. We have a plant that Tim thought was a fern.
I don't know. I just was
If you're watching,
that.
It's not a fern.
I don't know what
it is. It's a monstera.
Oh yeah, I've played Animal Crossing. I'm always like, why is this plant called a monster?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was silly.
Anyways, back to no. I'm serious. Like that's the thought. I was like, why is this called
monstera? Yeah. It's
why
pretty
is it
plant.
called that? Should
Tim, we literally had one.
Deep dive
our
into.
Our cats destroyed it.
Yeah.
So I gave it to my friend, and then she killed it. Shout out Jess. Thanks for killing my plant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'll send that clip to her.
Well, yeah. So I only truthfully get most of my knowledge of life through video games. It's where I figured out what a pickaxe was like My Sims. Anyways,
embarrassing.
Attack on Titan.
Guys.
I was homeschooled, which shout out to
Tim,
the homeschoolers.
You're just digging a deeper hole right now for yourself.
I love
video games,
it was
homeschool. Like
I had a great
it's
childhood.
Not looking good for you.
And now I'm doing a podcast. I have decent social skills.
Okay, stop.
These are all stereotypes.
Okay, well, if you're watching on YouTube, new place, new setup, new hair.
So I said,
if you didn't notice,
for several things,
Tim's hair is shorter.
My hair is shorter.
I got bangs.
We're in a new studio, and 2, we are. and
A and 2.
We also last episode ended off major cliffhanger of
how did
just
it end?
Colossal Titan just boom.
Shows up out of nowhere.
Reappears.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded, so
hence the changes.
Yeah.
To a lot of things.
But it won't be a couple weeks from when this
if you're listening, it's just been a week.
Today, February 23rd, our first episode came out.
Yeah. So how we've grown since then.
I don't know how our first episode sounded yet. I need to listen to it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
listened to it.
We've just developed.
We were trying to figure out our flow.
Yeah. And, at this time, since the first episode is just airing, we haven't received feedback from people of like, oh, try this or include this detail or something,
Yeah,
so
we want feedback.
We're still developing.
Our way of talking about this.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. But this is a great episode.
Big one.
A freaking good episode. Yeah, we were talking about it before, and it just is like, we're like, oh, shoot. Like, I mean, at this point, right, we've talked about it. You've seen the episode.
Yeah,
we're
so
talking
we're not
about
spoiling anything by talking about that. You should have watched it. You shouldn't be watching it in this current moment.
Yeah.
So this is the episode where Eren dies.
Eren gets eaten.
He gets eaten.
Friggin' leg chomped. Friggin' arm chomped.
Yeah. Tim's notes on this are so funny.
Yeah, we were watching it last night, and
Tim read out his notes, and I started laughing.
I had the late night goofy brain. When you just are slap happy. It's probably not funny now. Yeah, when you're up late and like everything is funny and it's not really funny.
Maybe reading it
right
now is not going to be as funny.
Right? That was a good
up.
joke, right? I said arm in, but his name is Armin. Like that's like all jokes aside, I put that. Like it's not funny.
What'd you say? Arm out, arm in?
I was just like,
isn't that a
Armin
GIF?
watched his. Yeah, I was like, Armin watched Eren's arm
out
in the Titan's mouth, something like that. Something silly.
The moment's over.
Anyways, so going through it.
Are we gonna go into it?
Yeah, dive right into the episode.
Okay.
And this episode pretty much one-to-one reflects like how the manga goes in this chapter.
Oh, so
like it's like
it's close
literally
to the
scene
manga?
for scene. There is one little bit with General Commander Pixis, who like that's not talked about in the manga at that time, but like so that's the one kind of difference. But like besides that, it's pretty one-to-one. Like the guy throwing up and you know, because he's so afraid.
Why is that the one thing you said?
Jean being grumpy.
Okay, so a lot of it's similar to the manga.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So, first things that we learn is because right when we start the episode, gives us a little recap. Colossal Titan appears.
Should we add in, because you know, if you've been watching or listening, we've been doing death count and how many times Mikasa says Eren. But what if we do each time we see a shot of the Colossal Titan's butt? Because
the colossal dump truck. The colossal dumpy.
Literally, they show the. I don't know why.
He's got a monkey butt. It's flat. It's as flat as the walls are.
As flat as the walls. No, but like, I don't know. That could be a good thing to add. I feel like we keep wanting to add in more and more. We're gonna have a lot of things to tally up. But
yeah, which.
Immediate butt shot. That's what I wrote.
Spoiler alert, as much as everyone jokes about how often Mikasa says Eren, she really doesn't say it that many.
We were like,
it's like an average of once an episode at this point.
Maybe towards the end she'll be saying it way more. Because I think what we were thinking was the end.
Yeah.
That she said it like all the time. So it might start adding up.
I feel like Armin says it way more.
I know.
We should have been keeping just like an Armin.
The death count, that's for sure.
Well, it's this episode.
Yeah.
Which good segue.
Starts off with just death, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we start off at the top of the wall, so we don't see, you know, the effects
Eren is just like
he's going crazy on this colossal titan.
I think we've talked about this, but he's always yelling. Like it just sounds like the guy who was doing who's Eren's voice is just yelling through his teeth. I'm gonna get them.
I'm gonna put a stop to them.
Yeah, it's like
which it's good. Like he's a good voice actor. I've seen him in other animes too. I think he's the voice actor in Sword Art Online too. He's like does a lot of animes and he's good.
Yeah.
So, but it is funny.
It's like you can picture.
I'm gonna put a stop to them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill every last Titan.
He doesn't open his mouth, and. Yeah, so we get this pretty epic scene of the Colossal Titan and Eren
flying around, realizes that because the Colossal takes a swing at Eren, and he's like, "Oh, he missed me," but he was aiming for the cannons.
You don't even care.
Yeah.
Oh wait, doesn't Eren realize that
he has intelligence?
He thinks,
there's intentionality behind what he's doing. It's not just this Titan kicking a hole in the wall, but he's delaying the defensive measures of you know the scouts and the regiments.
Yeah, which obviously just with how the Colossal Titan looks, it's way different than the normal Titans who look like humans. But like that even draws a bigger difference between them. Is like this one also thinks too.
We talked about the Attack on Titan Abridged, right?
Yes, Jean from Trost.
Yeah, the Jean from Trost and the whole like kind of training scene and whatnot. They make a joke in that's when they see the Colossal Titan that they're like, it's just like a background character as it's showing the Colossal Titan, and it's like, I knew Titans were naked, but that's a lot of naked because there's like no skin on the like Colossal Titan. It's just muscle.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of naked.
That's less covering for sure.
Yeah. So I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
Just continually rewatch that little YouTube.
Dude, that's why I keep saying Jean from Trost. It's just so funny.
Yeah. I think about it when I watched like these first 5 episodes because I think that pretty much covers the like first 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. It's good. It is good.
Yeah, now if you've watched these first 5 episodes completely, you can go watch the abridged.
Yeah.
Because I won't spoil anything for you.
Right.
So go do that.
Yeah.
But I want to, like, I feel like sometimes and maybe this is just, like, it kind of breaks the idea of reality, but whenever, Like there's a part where Aaron's just like floating in the air and like gravity doesn't exist and he's just floating and he's like talking and having this whole thing
it's the anime drama.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think it's just like
you've seen like those videos on
because I'm like, how is he still floating? Like this isn't realistic.
Yeah, you've seen those videos on Instagram that's like an American TV drama and it's like someone getting hit by a car and it's like just like Americans just like fall over gosh. And then it's like the Japanese like watching? Kind of like fly up a little bit and then hit the ground.
He's like,
but then the Korean Korean drama, it's like you get hit by a car and then it's like slow motion, that's like 20 feet into the air, like completely unrealistic.
Yeah.
But it's like entertaining.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Attack on Titan. He sees the Colossal Titan.
He tries
Eren is like, at least he's like worth his salt. He's putting in the time. He's trying to attack. He goes for the nape of the neck, which we come to realize later in the episode is the weak point for the Titans. Mm-hmm. And the Colossal Titan just vanishes, disappears.
How is he not burned by the steam? Like,
well, I think he is kind of pushed back by it, but then he kind of, I think he like pushes through and then he's like, did I miss? But he just disappeared, the Colossal Titan. All the other soldiers, like his other comrades, are like, did you get him? And then Eren's like, no, he just disappeared like 5 years ago. So I don't know how that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like how he just disappears. We can talk about that later. Maybe in the spoilers. But even with the spoilers, I still don't get it.
Yeah.
Still don't get it.
We'll figure that out. And then we go to everyone kind of panicking.
Yeah, there's a breach.
Like Armin having a little mental breakdown.
Yeah, this is
oh baby.
Panic in the city. They are still freaking using cannons, and I don't know why, because I think they got a little bit more accurate with the cannons. It shows them actually like hitting the Titans. But they even show like later in the episode, like cannons are essentially ineffective because
but they said cannons are the first
line of defense.
But no, they said cannons they used before they had the ODM gear.
Yeah, right.
But it's like,
I think at this point it's probably used to just like stall and inhibit the Titans like functions, because like if their weak point is on the nape of the neck.
At one point you see one crawling like
with his face just
well, the face that was creepy. But there's one of the one crawling without legs.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get to the human.
Yeah, it's creepy.
There's honestly a lot of good information on this one.
This was a disturbing episode.
Yeah.
And the next one too was very disturbing to me.
Yeah, it's good. But so kind of moving through, Mikasa's searching for her friends, and she finds Armin and Eren, and Armin is strategic, but he's spiraling, and he's like trying to think about all these things. Trying to put
something together.
But Eren is still good. He's like calm at this point. He's like, we just got to do what we got to do. Mm-hmm. And he kind of eventually goes on to tell Jean, like, we went through hell being the whole training of like becoming soldiers for 2-3 years.
This is what it's for.
Like, this is what it's for. And we can do it. Like,
Eren's
we went
good under
3
pressure.
Years. Yeah.
He is. He like he's like fight. Armin is flight. Armin's like bye.
Armin is freeze. And Armin is freeze.
Definitely freeze.
Or maybe as flight. I like to say, it's fight, flight, freeze, or in my case, assess. I wouldn't say that I
think that's freeze though. You're not moving. You're
but
just
no, it's like if I were in a stressful situation, I don't think I would just stand there and like let myself get eaten as like Armin does. Like I would run. I would assess before, like I would try to like figure out like, is running gonna help me? If I freeze, maybe they're not gonna see me. But if they see me, then I would run.
They'll never see
because
me.
It's like, is this a T-Rex? Like I don't know. We don't know. Anyways,
so
I was just saying that like Armin is going like he's spiraling. Is funny. They showed this scene because they have taken like more defensive measures. Mm-hmm. At Trost District in case like the Colossal Titan were to appear. Mm-hmm. And so they have like moats, essentially, like little ditches in the ground, and there's like a Titan like in one, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
like he's like trying to get out, and I'm like,
I saw that
freaking
too.
Stupid. Like, come on, it's just a little hole in the ground, and you fell for it.
Loser. They don't have brains though. So okay, we got to move along.
So there's a scene change that kind of introduces us to Commander Pixis, who
and the Lord.
They said it is like a lord. I wouldn't quite say he's a royal.
King? Not a king.
I wouldn't say he's the king. I think he's just like a lord. I think they call him Lord
something.
Farquaad. No. But he's losing to this commander in chess.
And also you see that he's like on this little island, clearly safe.
Yeah.
Like
away
eating,
from the wall and destruction, and
just a old bald guy eating as many desserts
crackers.
As he wants.
It's just the epitome of gluttony, sloth, tranquility.
And yeah,
this is a good scene because I always find it funny, like when you're introduced to new characters, like the writers will intentionally like clued in details that are like, for example, the royal man is like, oh, I can't believe like the commander of the single highest ranking officer in the Southern Territory. It's like giving so much description like to this character. Mm-hmm. Like if I was just like getting, if we were playing a game of chess, like I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't believe like this woman of 26 years old is losing to me in this game of chess and like going into all this like detail. It's like, no, I would just be like, I'm beating you in this game of chess. But, you know, like, because it's a show, they, like, include this, like, passing informational detail. I always think that's funny when they do that. Yeah. Anyways, Titans are through. The Pixis is, like, staying calm, grabs the rest of the bottle of the wine, just, like, starts chugging it.
He finds out that they're through, and the Lord is like, whatever, we're fine.
Yeah, he's like, people will die, like, that's their thing. They, like, that's not my problem, and essentially.
Then the guy, what
Pixis.
Pixis, he's like, I hope you have another great day of sloth and tranquility.
Burn.
Roasted.
Yeah.
And
I like Pixis.
Yeah.
He's a bit of an alcoholic. You see him just chugging the wine, and then, he also has a flask.
Just double.
And you'll find in like just he loves his booze.
He loves his
booze. So kind of then we go back to actually, this scene is funny because, like, as Pixis is, like, leaving and the royal guy is like, you know, no, you need to stay and protect me. Like, how can... And he makes this comment of, like, how can someone who, like, loses to me in chess, like, be effective against this, like, this disaster? And then one of Pixis's soldiers are like, if I may, and then, like...
Just roasts
the royal guy. He's like, Commander Pixis will not withhold his skill in battle like he does when he plays you in chess. And I was like, dude, that's a little far.
He let him win.
yeah, but it's funny.
And then we move on to everyone, all of the guards,
like all the new recruits.
Oh yeah, the recruits basically finding out that the advanced guard is all dead, and that now they have to step in, and everyone's basically accepting their death at that point. Starts freaking out, which is like
there's like a plan
that is really like the way that they do certain things in this show the reality of like how people would react to things, which is
like people being really terrified,
and like
vomiting out of
they're so
fear,
scared and like
crying, like being in a fetal position. Like it does horror very well without it being like
which
disturbing.
Is the next episode,
it's just like reality.
Well, the next episode is like it's really rough.
Next episode is fun.
And then did you say fun?
It's entertaining. It's we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay. And then Aaron gives Jean a little pep talk, says this what we have trained for, and Mikasa basically says, you can't protect yourself, come and find me and I'll protect you.
Yeah.
And like Mikasa starts freaking out. The funny part about this is to get her attention, Aaron headbutts her.
Well, because the captain like comes in and he's like, Mikasa, you're a part of so it's also kind of backwards. So there's the Vanguard, which is like killing the Titans like first and foremost, first line of defense. Then there's like the middle guard, which whatever. And then there's the elites are in like the very back.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make sense.
Helping with the evacuation, but it's like regular soldiers can help with the evacuation. You should be putting the elites at the forefront.
Yeah.
But I mean, also I think history and like the history of war probably, has
Which
never
we
put
talked
their
about that.
best
They always-
fighters at the front line.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Which we talked about that. Like, why are the best fighters going to the inner circle? Shouldn't they be like
the
out
best
in the
fighters
front?
are going the furthest away from the fight.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which kind of goes to show government be corrupt.
That government be corrupt. So then we go to the classroom.
Yeah, which
We learn a lot.
This is where we learn
educated.
a whole lot of details about the Titans. Well, first and foremost about the nape, but it even talks about
like they don't reproduce.
They don't reproduce,
or they don't know how they reproduce.
Because
there's obviously more.
Yeah.
They just don't stop coming, but
there's
they
no
don't know
reproductive organs.
Yeah, so they don't know how they're made.
They follow a predominantly male physique, is what he says.
I beg to differ.
It's what he says. You're just saying that because there's one Titan that has boobs.
I saw a Titan with boobs, and I was like, "That's a lady right there." Like, there's no way
She's
that's.
a lady.
I was like, I've never seen that before, like on a Titan, but I noticed it.
Yeah.
And then they also. It says that they don't even kill for food. Like, it's not.
They don't eat. They don't need to eat to live. They eat
for sport, basically.
For the sport, essentially, which is everyone was like,
"Oh gosh,
Jesus,
Jesus!"
Yeah, just is like freaking out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is where it starts to get intense. So there's like all the scouts, right? Are they scouts officially?
Recruits.
Okay, why do I keep wanting to call them scouts? All the recruits are now in the battlefield, right?
And it's Aaron, Armin. I forget the two other names. One of them is Thomas. There's 5 of them.
Oh, Connie.
No.
Oh, I thought Connie was there. And they're like all excited.
I didn't mean to shut you down there.
Sorry,
but it wasn't
gosh.
Connie.
No, you're wrong. And then they're kind of like, they're making it a game. They're like, I'm gonna.
Which is what you gotta do.
They're making it lighthearted, and you're like, okay, like
most kills wins.
Yeah, like this
gets
is
bragging rights.
This could be fun, and that changes real quick.
Immediately,
and we see the first, what is called an abnormal Titan or an abnormal.
Yeah.
Which. Crazy. Those ones are crazy. Is it running on all fours? It's like jumping.
No, it just jumps.
It's jumping.
It just like does this massive jump and catches Thomas in his mouth, and then immediately Aaron
see
is
it like
pissed.
You see it like a monkey around a building, and then it just tilts its head, and then you see Thomas in its mouth, and you're like,
is like, please.
That scene is so intense.
But it makes me so sad.
Good.
It's
so real, and I'm like. It's
lot of
too
people
real
die
to
in this
me.
show, and that's what I freaking like about it.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't like that in real
it's
life.
It's real, but it is so
show,
sad.
Yes.
And so he's like, please help me. I don't want to die. And like,
Aaron is
just gets chomped.
peeved.
And then Aaron and everyone, that kind of like snaps everybody into reality.
And
because
then
they were making it a game.
Yeah.
They were having fun. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh. Like we can die.
One of our comrades literally just got eaten in front of us.
And then boom, everyone all of a sudden starts getting grabbed by Titans, and like
Aaron gets his leg bitten off.
Yeah, Aaron starts
in pursuit of this Titan,
freaking out. I'm gonna kill him with his.
It's funny because this is also what I love about the voice actor, which I really need to learn his name.
Yeah, let me look.
Yeah, look it up. But he like confidently throws a voice crack in there. Armin too. Like he's like, I'm not gonna yell into the mic, but he has a voice crack in this scene. The English voice actor does.
It's Bryce Papenbrook or Papenbrook.
Yes.
Shout out Bryce.
He's just like
Thanks.
Like, you bastard, get back here. But not that goofy, but like he has a very confident it did sound like Goofy. But he has a very confident like voice crack, and I'm like, A, that's pretty realistic. And 2, that's a good choice.
Good choice in acting.
Good choice in acting.
Voice acting.
But Armin also does that too. He's like, Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah. And yeah, so then Aaron's like sprinting because he's so pissed to
gets his leg chomped
to kill, and then just a Titan just like jumps up and chomps his leg like a shark.
And then Aaron like goes flying and there's like destroys essentially like 3 or 4 like destroys 3 or 4 roofs like through like his
And
flying.
how is he okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean
And-
he's not, but
And then
he should be dead.
Yeah, and so you kind of see everybody being grabbed by Titans,
Except for Armin.
except
kind
for
of,
Armin, and then
who gets snatched by Santa
then
Claus.
Santa
Titan.
Claus comes around the corner, and
And then grabs
Santa-
grabs Armin, and then Armin's like, "Why am I not moving?" And then down the hatch.
down the hutch.
And the
Well, it's just he's like literally just like hanging there, like letting
he's
it
in
happen.
major freeze mode.
He's
I'm not
well,
even sure
he's like
assessing.
contemplating. He's like talking to himself. He's like, "Why aren't I moving? What is happening?"
I think he's just like in
Goodbye,
complete shock.
world.
He's like, "I'm watching my comrades be eaten. Why am I not?"
Well,
moving?
and then he saw Aaron too, right?
He saw Aaron, across the
so
way.
I think he thinks Aaron might be. Do you think he thinks Aaron is dead?
I don't think so.
Because he kind of just gave up, even though Aaron's alive.
I think that he's
could have
just
gone over to
so
him.
overwhelmed by what's happening.
Yeah.
Like he just can't. Like he can't process it,
Mm-hmm.
and then gets grabbed down the hatch.
Is this when he gets like a flashback to them as kids?
Yeah. So then Aaron starts thinking about when like how Armin has inspired.
Oh, Aaron
him,
does.
essentially by saying, which kind of crazy. So Armin talks about his parents still being alive in this flashback, and that they want to sneak outside of the walls
Mm-hmm.
and explore these things that these locations that Armin
Mm-hmm.
has found to be outside of the walls, being such salty water, being the sea,
Ice,
and
like
ice
glaciers
fields
and stuff, whatever.
and lakes of fire, being lava and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so that kind of
So
motivates.
is that how Armin's parents died or like got
Probably.
captured?
I think
because they tried to go outside the walls.
I don't know if they actually. I need to do, look more into that. I don't know if
That
they,
is ever confirmed.
I think that they die because they leave the walls and
Oh, get eaten by
get
Titans.
in. Probably,
Does
I
it
don't,
not say that in the manga?
Not at that point. I don't think.
Well, if
I
anyone
should
knows,
look. Maybe I missed it.
if anyone knows, send it
yeah.
to us.
But then that kind of inspires Aaron to somehow get up with only one leg. Freaking make
Okay,
it to the
how are-
inside of the Titan's mouth in a matter of
How
like
is he running?
0.5 seconds.
How is he running? He's not running on a nub. He's hopping on one leg. Like that must be what he's doing.
Well, or he used his little belt and just was down the
I don't
hatch
know.
and grabs Armin as he's like down the throat of
Adrenaline
the Titan.
is running through him because man, how would you do that with your leg chomped
And then freaking just
down the hatch?
throws Armin onto the roof, just chucks him.
Oh, this next scene is so funny
And
to me.
Yeah, just throws Armin, and then he's like, we have to see it, Armin.
Okay, the funny thing is like I've said every episode, here goes Aaron again with his speeches, these intense moments where he has to say something, and then here he is again in the mouth of a Titan using precious time to have a speech,
And he's like,
holding which
I
by the
have-
way, he's holding the Titan's mouth open with his blade through the center teeth of the Titan. Did you
he
see
was?
that?
I thought he was just
He had
holding
it-
it with
no,
his
he
arm.
had his blade up through the center teeth in the middle, like holding the blade up.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, that's gross. Like that's painful.
You got to do what you got to do.
That's like an intense flossing session right there for that Titan.
Yeah. Just
So,
deep floss.
deep
That
floss,
is
cut
a
through the
floss
gums.
at the level that a dentist would approve of.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, that's good.
give
Get a
you
little
good
blood.
thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah, you're flossing well when there's blood coming. And so then this, he's like, Armin, I have to see the world that we've talked
I'm gonna
about.
see it.
And then Armin's like, Aaron, like voice crack and everything, and then
Doesn't
chomp.
grab his hand. Doesn't grab his hand.
Well,
What-
he's too slow.
Do you think Aaron was reaching out for him to grab him?
Maybe. I mean, I think he's just kind of
And
reaching
Armin's
out
just
like
standing there like,
I think in some ways you could probably even say he's like maybe even
I'm
in a
surprised
delusional state.
in the abridged that it's not like, grab my hand, Armin, grab my hand.
Well, that is what they do.
It does.
Yeah, he's like
I don't remember that.
in the abridged, he's like, all right, Armin, like listen, like listen to me, Armin. I'm gonna reach out my hand. Are you listening to me? And then Armin's like, yeah. He's like, gotta grab my arm, okay? On the count of 3. one, and then chomp, and then
Chomp.
like that's how it goes.
Wow,
But yeah,
I
loses
was right.
left arm and left
Okay,
leg.
Orman, I gotta reach out my hand.
Right when you think that
Ooh, that's good.
no shows ever kill their main characters unless it's Game of Thrones, the Attack on Titan. That, which I feel like 2013, I don't know if Game of Thrones was going back in 2013. Probably was.
Well,
but
it's
this
just
is
like-
one of the first shows that I feel like I remember watching and being like, what the heck? He's the main character and he just got eaten.
Literally, when we were watching it, and it was the first time I watched it, I was like, so many things were going through my head. It's like,
You were like, Armin, you were in freeze.
yeah, well, I'm just like,
If a Titan came for you, you would have been eaten
I know.
because you were processing it.
I know, you're just standing there. But I was like, okay, well, now Armin's the main character. Or like, now it's his story. Or is he going to come back to life? Or is he going to jump out? Or the next episode will start with him like cutting through the Titan's stomach. Like,
He
what does
finds a
that?
way, but he wouldn't have had a left arm or a left leg.
he's missing things.
He's missing things. But that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, and the episode's over.
So good.
To be
Such a great
continued.
episode.
Yeah.
Talk about nail biter, cliffhanger.
Anxiety. A lot of
That's why
anxiety.
it's so good.
This
but-
show is like not great for me to watch before bed. Like, I honestly get stressed out over
Wired.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the episode. Are we
Oh,
gonna go
well,
into some spoilers?
Mikasa's spider senses are tingling.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's how the
Spidey
episode
senses.
ends. You know, he
Can you
gets
just read
eaten.
out your notes?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
your notes are funny.
So let's see. Aaron gets up and grabs Armin's arm and throws him to safety.
Dumb.
Aaron is trying to hold the Titan's mouth open. We will see the outside world. Chomp, left arm, bye-bye. Armin is going hysterical. Mikasa's spider senses are tingling. End of episode.
There you go.
That-
That was good.
that's how
should have
my-
just said that. That was the end
I-
scene.
Honestly, my notes, like I said, they're more funny than probably me just riffing it right now.
Left arm. Bye bye.
I mean, you have to put in when you're taking notes like super fast because like you don't want to pause the episode. So you have
Yeah.
like taking as much detail as you can. You just get creative, you know.
Yeah. So our death count for this episode is 8. And then Mikasa says Aaron once. So
Yeah, it's boring.
lot.
Say
It's-
it more.
yeah. Do better.
Yeah, do better. Care more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, granted, like she wasn't really in this episode. She's in the episode a lot.
The next one, which is a good one, but it's intense.
morbidly hilarious episode.
How is it hilarious?
We'll talk about it when we
I'm
get
so
there.
curious. What a great segue.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're
See
going to
us
go into
next week.
No, we're going to go into spoilers.
Well, yeah, but for the non-spoilers, see
yep,
you next
bye.
week.
We're doing spoilers,
Um,
so leave if you haven't
let
watched
it-
after this episode. Literally after 5.
Let us know if there's anything we missed. Maybe it's actually 9 deaths. Maybe she actually said it 4 times instead of 1.
Or
Let
just
us know.
any spoilers that
But
we've
be
been missing.
nice.
Yeah, be
Let
nice.
it throw in your spoiler. Like, just I want to hear the crazy conspiracy connection that's like this happened because of this, which led to this, which because of this is why Aaron did this.
Yep.
Give us
So-
your craziest conspiracy.
So you can watch us on YouTube,
Sasageyo Pod.
or you can watch us on, we're going to do clips on TikTok, which is
And
sasageyo.pod, and Instagram, which is sasageyo.
I think it's just Sasageyo Pod.
Sasageyo pod.
Yes.
And send us messages like in our message DMs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because if you have any cool conspiracies or like spoilers that we have missed, we'll say it and we'll give you credit. We won't take the credit.
Yeah.
We won't take the credit. So we're going into spoilers. So leave if you haven't watched after episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't a lot of spoilers.
Well, leave if you
Or haven't watched to the end of the
just
series,
watch the end
sorry.
of the series because we're going to be talking
To
about.
the end.
There's nothing off the table here.
Yeah. So there aren't a whole lot of spoilers, although we do know how Titans are made. Because they said we don't know how they reproduce. But we do know how Titans are made. And
Right.
that is,
That they are humans being
they are humans.
injected by Titan spinal fluid
Fluid.
on the like border of the island
Yeah.
from the Marlians.
From the
They're
Marlians.
injecting Eldians, which is
And
everyone
throwing
inside
them
the
off
walls,
the ledge.
throwing them off the ledge.
That's like a crazy episode when you find that
I
out.
love that episode.
Yeah. And then what else?
That's really when I mean, the whole show is crazy, but that's when you start to realize, like, everything is so, like, everything in the show is so intentionally placed. Like, the Smiling Titan, pretty much all the Titans in that
Yeah, you have to think, was that Titan just, like, did they just make that Titan, or from the beginning,
it was
he knew that it was going to be Aaron's...
Yeah. Stepmom.
Aaron's stepmom, I guess, or, like...
Grisha's first
wife. So, yeah, that's crazy. But, and then, I probably am completely wrong with this, but I thought, you know, maybe there's a little bit significance of the, what's his name? The Colonel?
Commander Pixis.
He was drinking, like, the red wine, which they all end up drinking.
Yeah, and then he turns into a Titan. This is why you don't become an alcoholic, because you never know what you're drinking, and you could turn into a Titan if someone yells at you.
Someone yells
Zeke.
at you?
Yeah, because that's how Zeke activates it. Yeah.
Yeah, that totally is real.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, wine, maybe. I don't know. I mean, if he stopped, if he was sober by then, he could have not drank the wine. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom, he's like, I'm sober. I've been sober for a year.
So if you are drinking a lot right now,
Just
you
stop.
could sober up and you'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
You may not have drinking the Zeke infused spinal fluid
You're making
wine.
it weird.
It's how it is.
Then, okay, and then I think that's it. I mean, we know that Aaron is not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we know he's just hanging out in the stomach of Santa Claus right now.
Yeah.
So
that gets revealed pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, yeah.
I don't know.
It does take time.
Yeah.
Like a couple episodes. It's still first season, I think.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And actually, we are looking towards having a few guests on our podcast. Some people who have watched the anime all the way through, who love it, are super into it. And we might have some people who have never seen it before.
Yeah.
Just watch an episode and we'll get their review as like an outsider.
Yeah.
Which could be, they're going to be like, what the heck am I watching?
Mm-hmm.
But
also, potentially, maybe at the time that you're listening to this, we are looking for a artist to make our profile picture.
okay.
Assuming that by episode 4, when this time comes out, which will be basically a month from now that we're recording this, if we still don't have one, we still
we want someone to draw the cover of our podcast. Right now we have just a random thing.
A lot of people will have like the 2 podcast individuals in like scouting gear on top of a wall, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
but
let's
get we want to stand out, you know? So be creative. Maybe make us as Titans.
You're acting as Titans. That would be funny.
That would be insane,
I don't know if I like
but
that.
maybe don't.
Maybe
Do
as
it for the
Titans
jokes.
doing a podcast. Like they're sitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now ours is like in the manga.
In like just
sketch,
an anime.
which I like. So I mean,
yeah,
if any of
manga,
you guys do that, we would love to feature someone's art as our main profile photo instead of like a random one.
Yeah.
And like also we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Duh. Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Big episode.
Episode 6.
A lot of things revealed about pasts.
Backstory
past
of Mikasa and
backstories.
Armin, or Mikasa and Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good episode.
Morbidly
and then we'll
hilarious.
also have some guests coming soon. So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys next week.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye.